You know, in our digital work lives, we're always using emojis to add a little bit of tone to our messages. But what if one of those tiny symbols is sending a signal you absolutely did not intend? Today, we are going to dive deep into the one emoji that could actually be damaging your professional reputation.
All right, let's just get right to it. That little face. You've probably used it. You have definitely gotten it in a message. But here's the real question. Could this one single emoji be undermining your professionalism and maybe even hurting your career? Well, the answer might just surprise you. Before we put our main suspect under the microscope, let's just set the stage a little. We all know how incredibly hard it is to get your tone right online. A simple okay can sound excited or angry or like you just don't care at all. Emojis were supposed to fix this, right? But some of them, well, they come with their own hidden risks. And that brings us to our focus today, the smirking face emoji. Honestly, it is one of the most ambiguous, hard-to-read characters in your entire digital toolkit. So let's break down exactly why this little guy is such a minefield in a professional setting. To really understand the risk here, we have to decode what this smirk is actually trying to say. And this isn't just about what you think it means, it's about all its common meanings, and more importantly, how it's being perceived by your colleagues, your boss, or even your clients. So go ahead, take another good look at it. What do you see? Is it supposed to be confident? Is it a joke? Flirty? Maybe sarcastic? The fact that it could be any of those, well, that's the whole problem right there. It lives in this weird gray area. And that kind of ambiguity is a huge liability at work. Okay, let's tackle its first common meaning, suggestive. Now, in a professional context, the word suggestive is a massive red flag. It can come across as flirty or inappropriate, and even if you just mean it playfully, it can completely undermine the seriousness of whatever you're trying to say. Now for its second, equally problematic meaning, passive. This usually points to a passive-aggressive or sarcastic tone. You know, it's the emoji you might use when you say, sure, that's a great idea, when what you really mean is the exact opposite. And that kind of indirect communication, it just erodes trust and creates a ton of confusion. So you see, it's a total lose-lose situation. On one hand, the smirk can be seen as suggestive, which is just unprofessional and can be really inappropriate. But on the other hand, it can be seen as passive, which comes across as sarcastic and unclear. Either way, you're not communicating what you mean. There's just no winning interpretation of this emoji in a work environment. So, with this really dangerous double meaning, what's the official guidance here? What are we supposed to do? Well, let's take a look at the definitive rule for how to handle this tricky little character. And look, this isn't just someone's opinion. The guidance we're talking about is based on established best practices for digital communication. This is really the standard for clear, professional, and effective interaction online. And the rule, it could not be clearer. Avoid completely. Not use it with caution, not only use it with people you know really well. The official guidance is to just cut it from your professional vocabulary entirely. The risk that someone will misinterpret your message is just way too high. Okay, now we have the rule, but let's talk about the why. Why is it so important to actually follow it? This goes way beyond just one emoji, you know? It's about consciously building and protecting your digital reputation one message at a time. Every single character you type contributes to how people see you professionally. Think about it this way. By simply not using this one emoji, you are actively protecting your own professionalism. You're preventing misinterpretations, which helps build trust with the people you work with. And most importantly, you're making sure your communication is always clear and direct. And that is the foundation of any great team. So, we've spent all this time focused on just one little emoji. But the lesson here is so much bigger. It really pushes us to ask a final critical question. As you go about your day, think about your own digital habits. What other messages might you be sending without even realizing it? Being mindful of our digital language isn't just about avoiding a mistake here or there. It's about building a better, clearer, and more professional way for all of us to work together.